Welcome to Humanity Unboxed. Good morning, Michael. Sorry to get you out of bed this early in the morning.
Yes.
It's not nice to be up too early.
Yeah.
The world's a busy place, though, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Energetically as well.
Mm-hmm.
We're still in the theme of story and play. We just finished
Mm-hmm.
our season. I've made a new journal.
Beautiful.
Um, it is the Alchemy of Trust we're moving into on the 1st of
Mm-hmm.
April. And I am exploring birds of fire and
Mm-hmm.
lightning and thunder in the next season. I did trees this season,
Yeah.
foundation of self, and now I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to birds and fire. It's fiery time, I think. Spring is
Yeah.
to be coming. It's not, it hasn't reached the UK yet, though.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
hasn't left. It hasn't. It's always seems springy here. So
Yeah.
it always in the winter everywhere. So
I know it's really nice. I was watching Maxine was down there somewhere. I don't know if she was in Los Angeles or San Francisco, but it was the middle of winter and there was blue skies and I was very jealous because I don't see
yeah.
it very often.
Yes.
Yeah.
So.
So, story. We're still kind of in this space of, I suppose, we started on projections, you know.
Mm-hmm.
We are the projector. We project our own stories onto this canvas, I suppose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's our feed. I think that's our feedback. I think that's like I like that Bashar said the when he said when you look in the mirror and you say, I only, also this hangs together with the quantum physics. So I'm looking at the mirror and asking the mirror to smile at me before I smile.
Yeah.
All this stuff is, in your quantum, whatever it is there in your space. That's
Yeah.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
So you look at the mirror and said, I smile when the mirror smiles, and that doesn't work. And that's what I think reality does right now.
Yeah.
It whatever it is outside needs to I'm gonna like the system relevance too. So
Mm.
we take care of kids, and then you have all the things against kids and all the results against kids. So
Yeah.
it's on both sides. Also, I think the story is like I was talking about edging because so many people edge. They go extreme. They fight. They go edging, and I think that is I found a good thing. At least for me, it resonates. It's changing the story.
Yes.
We edge to change the story
Yeah.
and to go into from not so it's an obvious instead of repeating the cycle
Mm.
to go in the Kundalini in the natural growth.
Mm.
I think we edge so that we get from the circle or the smaller circle to edge so we get into the Kundalini, the natural growth, the natural
Yeah.
growth rhythm.
Yeah. Which moving in that way, moving with the natural growth, there's always elements of uncomfortable. I was just writing something about we did the Tree of Emergence, which is a
Yeah.
Navajo kind of story of creation, and they
Mm-hmm.
talk about moving between worlds, and every time the things are becoming like they can't stay here anymore. They go through a reed kind of the tree, but there's uncertainty, so it can't be planned and all in place. Through that uncertainty, I think we can then project or build a new story. But if we stay in the story, if we stay in the certainty, in the what we know, and we just perpetuate on that, then we never grow. We just become the same thing. It's kind of building the circle out and building the circle in.
Nickel in, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a target thing. It goes in and out.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
very interesting because I think the fact actually when we zoom out as a neurodiverse, we can zoom out. What is if what was that? It just flew away. Yeah. What is if you why do you think it's to grow in the uncertainty when we know that uncertainty? I've never found in any uncertainty of mine where I was afraid of or whatever when
Mm,
I walked in it, because
mm,
I'm a factual guy. I'm not, I'm not saying me, blah blah blah.
yeah.
So I never found that that it was against me. I only found more about me. So, but I
Mm,
think there's the paradox we have to sit with, that when we constant growth, there's no. That's why the systems, hold
Yeah.
us back, because there is constant growth,
Mm,
and choice is. I put that together too with the choice. I
yeah.
said, if we don't choose, uh, because AI gave me all these things, I don't want results. All I want is sorting out and put it in the where the right space is of all my information, because so much information comes in.
Mm,
I want to just sort the information. So I have my AI used to just sort out, and don't give me a solution. It
mm,
always try to give me a solution,
yeah.
which I don't want a solution. If I need a solution, I said, how to cook an egg.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to get the thing, because I don't know an egg, and somebody else did the egg. But I need a solution about something. I don't. I need only to give me a choice. iPhone 2. Yesterday we worked, because when you have autocorrect,
Yeah.
it just, for us especially, it just does, for
Yeah.
neurotypical it does, but for us it's extremely, because it just chooses a word to put
Yeah.
in. So I said Michelle, and then it says, it puts in Michael,
Yeah.
or or Michelle is like Carvel. I put
Yeah.
Carvel, and it just puts Michelle in. I
Yeah.
don't want the choice. I
Yeah.
want my choice.
Yeah.
Not
You've already
not
made the choice.
Yeah. They can give
Yeah.
me a solution. They can give me proposals or whatever options,
Mm,
but I don't want the solution already.
yeah.
Automatically built in. I don't want
Yeah.
that.
But see, that's building the certainty. So then the system has has
Yes,
has
you're
created that
100% right.
for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
don't, and that's
yeah.
not the safety or certainty, because that's
No.
why we are actually increasing, because we were blessed by being neurodiverse.
Yeah.
So we always had that uncertainty, always, because it's,
Mm,
you can't read, you can't write, can't do this. But actually, that was a blessing, because we didn't go into it does it automatically. It
yeah.
just does it. And there comes something in our life too. You don't look if how to flush the toilet or do something. That is a certainty in the system,
Mm,
or how to stroke your child, or it's not. You don't have to ask that.
yeah.
But at the beginning, oh, I need to burp my child. You say at the first, oh, that's what I'm told when he to burp him or
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
So, and then you just do it automatically. You just take the child, and then you integrate that knowledge to,
Yeah, if
yeah,
if it makes sense. So, I mean, that's a very good
yeah,
way to look at it because as a new parent, for example, you want to do it right. So
yeah,
you have people telling you you must do it a certain way, and as a mother,
mm-hmm,
there is an
mm-hmm,
built-in instinct. There is an innate knowing what
mm-hmm,
is right or what is
mm-hmm.
best, not what is right. There's no right. What is
He's not
best
right.
for
Yeah,
your child.
yeah. What is right for your child?
Yes. And it's very difficult because I mean I had a lot of problems as a new mother with that because it just didn't make sense to me a lot of the stuff and then I would say no, I'm not doing that and I would get pushback from yeah, but that is and so yeah, it creates a trust thing actually as to
Mm-hmm.
okay, I need to trust myself first
Yeah.
because I know already, like the knowing
Mm-hmm.
is there. The rest of it is almost there to distract us, to put a system relevance on, your child needs to sleep in their own bed from when
Yeah.
they are 5 months old and they have to do it this way and they have
Yeah.
to, blah, 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 and don't let your child cry. I was like, no, I'm
Yeah.
not having my
Good
child
that it comes
cry.
out. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not
It's.
happening. Yeah, that
Yeah.
is the whole point of me is to be to comfort my child. That
Mm-hmm.
is, yeah, where I
Yeah,
put my foot down. But there's an element of um, you know, listening, I suppose, to other people's perspective as to you're
yeah,
doing it so badly and you shouldn't, and you are weak,
yeah,
I suppose is the
uh,
narrative. Um, yeah. So to find a way to be able to listen to yourself, I
yeah,
suppose, your own innate
yeah.
story instead of the one that's being put in your ear. Yeah.
Yeah, that you, because there's many trusts. See, the highest truth is there's many trusts and there's many truth, because
Mm,
the your truth is dependent on your trust. So this is a
mm,
great person, or this is a horrible person. That's your trust, or this is good
yeah.
or bad for you. That it's your you trust innate, uh, whatever comes through you. And therefore, that trust can never be one thing. It can never be, it's great, this comes in. I didn't know that. So that it comes, that the trust, it can only be different for you and for me in the same situation. Even if we had the same situation, our trust needs to be different, because for your 101 is, that's why I say the 101 is like we have to be like a sovereign independent state. Michelle
Mm,
is a sovereign, and your kids, everybody's in, and then we interact, but we have boundaries, and we are this 101, and then we
yeah.
see that, it's,
Yeah.
this is different. Oh, it's a different human, it's not
Yeah.
a woman. And this generalization, I found the shooting out, because
Yeah.
we talk about shooting, that it's not good,
Yeah.
but that's also binary. I say the should, what the should does, the should is amplifying the generalization. And
Mm,
we know that generalization is human self-destruction. When we in anywhere generally, when we generalize and judge,
mm,
we self-destruct because we are one.
mm.
How can I be saying you are bad when you are part of what I am?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like we are nature. So how
Yeah.
can I judge the person? I said I don't like it or whatever, or I don't
Yeah.
jump on it. But the shooting is actually, because I think the worst used system is when we generalize. The system has a noble intent. Every system has a noble intent. But
Mm,
then when we no, when we not update it, you have to update it.
yeah.
Then it doesn't work. So
Yeah.
I think it's the core, that we have to update the system
Mm,
constantly, while we change all the time. So at
yeah.
least do it once a year. And we're always behind. We'll be always behind, but at least it has a common help, a common, yeah.
Yeah.
And also behind every system is humans. So humans destroying humans basically anyway. So,
Well,
but
yeah. Yeah.
when you generalize, every generalization is self-destruction basically. That's the evil, not the evil thing, but the thing that doesn't make us grow, that hinders our growth,
Mm,
that makes us fear, that doesn't work, or very much the so we keep on changing and choosing.
yeah.
Yeah, so when you say, you know these women, these men, these black people, these white people, the generalization, you need to really be very aware to not generalize. I
Which is
think
very difficult because there is certainty. It's easier to create a story and have those people live in that story. So,
yeah,
white men are racist is a
yeah,
story that I can easily live in, or
yeah,
white men are sexist or misogynist or
yeah.
whatever it is. Um, because I can feel an anger, so I can create a
You can
segregation,
dump it.
create a
You blame Hitler. That's it. You
yes, yeah,
blame
yeah.
Trump. You
Or
blame Biden.
Netanyahu,
Now
or
everything, everybody.
yeah.
We love to blame, not to grow, but actually there is no blaming, because it's a
But
part of us.
yeah, but this also only happens when we don't have these dialogues, when we don't say, when we don't have open dialogue about these pressing matters. You're not allowed to talk about politics. You're not allowed to talk
Yeah,
about religion. So it's easier to generalize. You can
yeah,
say all Muslims are like
No,
that,
it's
or all
control,
Christians are like
and
that.
so it's fodder for control and
Yes,
manipulation.
exactly,
Yeah. So,
exactly, exactly.
I'm sexually molested, if I say that,
Yeah,
and then somebody talks about sex and says, "I don't want this is horrible." Yeah. So,
yeah,
and I hide behind the system to say we shouldn't talk about porn, we shouldn't talk about sex, we
yeah.
shouldn't talk about child rape, we
Drugs
shouldn't,
or, you
and
know,
all this stuff is,
yeah.
but we shouldn't talk, and then we talk. We get money for talking about it.
Hmm.
If we shouldn't talk about child, kidnapping and all that stuff, then why we,
But
it,
how do we fight it if we don't talk about it? If
yeah,
there's
we
no
need.
awareness
That's
about
why I
it,
say freedom
then
of
we,
speech is. That's why it's so essential. Freedom of
yeah,
speech, because we have to, and everybody's different.
yeah,
You don't have to if you don't want to talk about it. You don't have to talk about it. But
exactly.
generalization that I don't want to talk about, so you can't talk about. That's the thing. The
Yeah.
generalization and hiding behind the system, whatever the society says at the current time, uh, that's dangerous. That's
But this is the world we live in, though. I mean, I think in the UK last year, something stupid like 12,000 people were arrested for social media
yeah.
posts. I mean, what? You
That
know,
takes away
you can
the
also
control. Yeah,
say no, I don't agree, or you know, there's a barrier to communication because of these digital platforms, because of these social medias,
yeah,
because you can have an anonymous post or profile or whatever, and then you can
yeah,
tell people how horrible they are. But at the end of the day, if someone triggers me, for example, of something, they're
yeah.
calling me
Whatever.
whatever. Um, that's got nothing to do with them. The triggering lies within me. So, once we start talking about these things, it's why I love running dialogue sessions where you kind of go, "Ooh, that feels funny. Like that triggers something in me." And it's not you now need to stop talking about it. I
Yeah,
need to figure out why it's triggering something in me, and how do I approach it so that I can be more open with myself about it. It's got you are just the third party in this. I can't get angry at you because you support Trump or net or
whatever.
whoever,
And Netanyahu, whatever,
Ramaphosa or whoever.
whatever. Yeah,
Yeah, because just because I don't, um, I need to allow you, I can tell you why I don't. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
we have to be able to discuss our differences in an open dialogue kind of
yeah,
way so that we can understand each other better. Because this is where the system gets control because it can now feed, oh, look at all these people coming in on boats, they're going to take your jobs and, you know, but in the meantime, you're sitting at the pub all day, you're not interested in a job. So they're not doing, you know what I mean? Like there's such a,
I would never do that job, or never wouldn't do that
or
job.
would not
So,
be interested in that job or, and they have a different story. They're not just coming here to take anything from you. They're coming here maybe to survive, or they're not coming here, or I don't know. There's just, yeah,
if
generalizations.
if I bomb the place where you're living currently, if I bomb it,
Yeah,
where you gonna
I'm gonna
go? You
leave.
go somewhere else.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah,
Doesn't matter how beautiful a place or whatever. If it's inhabitable, if we destroyed it, you
yeah.
know, then where you gonna go? And
But
there's
it doesn't
nobody.
mean that anywhere else is ever going to be my home. My
No,
home is where
it's
I
you
feel
where
at
you
home.
are. Yeah,
Yeah,
means where you are, and that's a lot of people find that also because there's so much traveling and all that stuff. So they find, oh, I could live here. I could live here. So the awareness for that is really rising in the stuff.
yeah,
But also what I want to say before, it's we do all this stuff that we don't like, that we said that's not normal, that's not human centric, because we don't want to take responsibility. Because as long as the system has conditioned us over hundreds of years, the system takes care of you. The
yeah,
system, the system has the solution.
yeah,
Even if a system is really horrible to their people, they
yeah,
say, yeah, but they have reason in that system to do that and whatever. So there's all this stuff. when we say we have human rights, that doesn't work. It doesn't work just to have human rights. You have
No.
also responsibilities.
Yeah, but
Your
there's
kid
also
cannot.
there's
You are
no one
very good.
coming to save you. That no one is looking after you. The government
No,
doesn't give a shit. You
it's
like
for,
your
empty
tax money is
promises
going.
because it can't be. It can't
Yeah,
be. They can't do it. They say, "Oh, you work till 60, and then or 65, and then you're retired." So you're sacrificing your life, your joy, your happiness,
yeah,
till that. So it's do it before that you get it after. That's a lie because nobody knows the future. You
yeah,
know, it just. I rather would have it where it is more lenient a system and say, you're responsible for your money. You get now the thing. So there is no retirement, whatever. You get your money, and you can choose either have now the money or later, but
mm,
not you know not you just sacrifice everything, and then when you're getting old, you start living. That's and
well,
then
you,
there's
you don't because society doesn't put any value
mhm.
to
Yeah,
the wise ones anymore. The
yeah,
ones that have the more
yeah.
experience. Yeah, yeah,
It's also so this when people look at you, where they can put you in what judgment and what system relevance they can put you in to, because time is running out, right? It's
yeah,
not running out, but you say
yeah,
my
yeah,
time is running out, and I do
yeah,
that,
yeah,
and it's like to get all anxious, and so then you tend to generalize, you tend to do certain things that you know that doesn't work, and that then segregates humans. Humans need to
yeah,
say a part of nature. They're not in nature. They are part of nature. They always, that's how the system say, oh, we are nature. We need to take care of nature. No, we don't need to take care of it. We need to harmonize, dance, monkey around with nature.
yeah,
To
and
find
not
the
do no
intimacy,
harm. Yeah,
to find like with animals, we have an intimacy that all of a sudden, when we grew up, they were hitting dogs, they were all this stuff. But people say now it's much better. The people would say, I mean, people are still abusing dogs and animals, but at least it's more awareness is out. It's a being. You cannot. It's a
yeah,
being of nature, and you are a being too. It's just
yeah,
another being. It's another being like other humans. They are other beings,
yeah,
and plants too. And what it's the same thing. Yeah,
yeah. Yet there is a world where it's okay to test on animals, or
exactly.
it's
Yeah,
okay to keep them in cages because they're a function of the system,
yeah,
which they never can be, So there are
yeah,
there are narratives. These are stories that we build to
yeah.
dissociate ourselves from cruelty, from
From
doing these
all
things to others.
I have a block. Let's say I have a blockage with whatever with cars.
Yeah,
Something is with cars. So I make a story. Oh, this car almost hit me. Then so it's actually giving me
actually.
understanding further.
Yeah.
That I think. So you tell everything a story because you experience that, and there's something you have to work on. That's
Mm,
why you make a story. And
mm,
then when there is a lot of people that connect to that story, there becomes philosophy and all that stuff, because they say, oh, my mother, Freud said, my mother, I want to have sex with my mother, I want to have this.
yeah.
So this is, and then they find out it has nothing to do with anything. That's
No.
not a thing. That's not a normal thing that you just want to have sex. And
No.
what is normal? They never define normal.
Well, it
See,
doesn't
that's a
exist.
responsibility.
Yeah.
You must, as a system, that's a responsibility for systems. You must define what is normal.
Well,
So
no, this is what I have against the system because the system can never define that
that
because
it cannot.
humans change. So
No,
we are evolving, and if we don't, we can't update systems
then
constantly.
don't use the word normal,
No,
because there is no
exactly. I
normal. There
hate
is
it.
no. Yeah, no,
There's
we are
no
both
normal.
right. We are
Yeah.
and right. You and
Yeah. Yeah.
don't use the
No.
the word normal, because you're neurodiverse, you're gay or whatever. Oh, and that is instantly not normal. And
Yeah.
20% are neurodiverse. And
Yeah.
neurodiversity, I'm writing the
But
book
no
right
one
now.
can say how many people are neurodiverse because
No,
no one really knows.
that's why
What
we're
is my
finding out.
neurodiversity? It's a lot
Yeah,
of things. I always say that normal is a setting on the dryer, but I've realized
Exactly.
our dryer doesn't even have a normal setting. So
Exactly.
in our house, there is no normal, um,
Yeah.
which is fine with me. But
Yeah.
there are engagements, there are responsibilities. Someone still needs to take the trash out. Someone still needs to unpack the
Exactly.
dishwasher. So we need to find ways to work together so that all of us are fulfilled within this unit
Yeah.
that is us as a family
Or
in this space.
and also say, hey, I'm a human. There is, because nobody, you and I didn't have to study whatever for our, about this and this and this to find ourselves out.
Mm.
Yeah, there's a responsibility. You have to do this because, you know, for you that you have to look at yourself. It doesn't matter if you do religion or study this to get you to even if you study something totally off,
Yeah.
you need to explore, you need to explore the self. I mean, it says
And
everything.
sometimes it is through study. So I did
And
study. I
sometimes
did
it's
study
not.
law
Sometimes
and
it's
I
not.
did
Some
study
it's to
psychology and I did
yeah,
study education. But it is those studies that made me realize that those systems are never going to understand
yeah,
the human
human.
consciousness or
Yeah,
the
it's
individual consciousness. How I see me is
yeah,
still more important than how Freud or Adler or whoever saw human development or the human psyche or any of that. I can take bits though. I like what Jung
always,
does,
yeah.
or I can take aspects of all these different things, whether it's astrology or I don't know, witchcraft for that matter, whatever it is, all of these things can show me different aspects of me. Um, but I still have the responsibility to go, what is true for me in this moment, I think.
Yeah, because you're one of one.
Yeah.
There's nothing that should be true for you in this moment that I could say because it's you. Yeah,
Yeah.
in this moment, that's right for me. In this, not. And that you have to trust. I think you have to trust more the observation. That's what I do. I trust the function of humanity. So what is the function? I look for the function. What is neurodiversity
Mm.
really? Not just a label. It just
Yeah.
and it is a label. I'm sorry. It
It
is. It
is.
is
Yeah.
not nothing
It is.
because what counts for neurodiverse people counts for regular people too. They're just not aware. They're not so sensitive. The neurodiverse are all on a very sensitive spectrum. We are the canaries for humanity, for the neurotypical person. The neurotypical is only,
If they
and
were
also,
neurotypical people,
yeah, and also it's only a time till they get neurodiverse because neurodiversity is rising. And I show you the thing because I'm doing this book right now. It's amazing how many Google just what is all connected to neurodiversity.
Mm.
Unbelievable. It's like almost everybody is neurodiverse. So why we need to call it neurodiverse when
Well, we
everybody's
don't.
neurodiverse?
We don't.
No, we don't. No, that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It is also part of, you know, the hype, the oh, I have this thing and you have that thing, and can we talk to
yeah,
each other? But if we're actually just humans and we can
yeah.
see, um, my my son's friend is petrified of daffodils. Why are you petrified of daffodils? Let's talk
I
about it.
love that. Actually, I love that.
Yeah. So we
I
see
love that.
why.
I
Yeah.
would go right away in, but that's why I say neurodiverse people see rabbit holes where neurotypical people don't even know there is a rabbit hole, right? It's
Yeah.
just, I
Yeah.
mean, I'm crazy for that. I just go in right into it.
Exactly.
So
But
just that,
because there's a story, because there's something deeper,
yeah,
because there's a
yeah,
rabbit hole, and that
yeah,
rabbit hole is more important than following the line and being the
yeah.
true and
Oh, he
doing.
hates it. Give him have a psychological process to not like
Yeah,
daffodils. Yeah,
yeah,
because there is only his daffodil. His fear of daffodils is one thing. The other person's daffodil fear is another thing. It's not the same thing. That always see the generalization forces us always to go, stand still, the stagnation. You don't like mice is a different way where 100,000 people don't like mice or love mice.
Well, this is
or
the thing.
cats
This is
or
actually,
anything.
yeah.
Do you see that?
Yeah, yeah. This came up this week for me because my daughter went for a blood test, and it's only the second time ever that she's had blood taken,
Yeah,
and it completely freaks her out. Like it's and when I tell people that, they laugh. And it's a bit strange, but it's a fear, it's like daffodils. So I was watching the boys after training last night, and one boy is scared of the daffodils, and obviously it's really funny to see someone scared because it
nature.
seems,
It's a part of him. It's a
yeah,
part of him.
but it
See,
seems kind of ridiculous, fear of daffodils, fear of
no,
drawing,
it's not ridiculous.
but it's
It's not
not.
ridiculous at all.
So
No.
so when someone removed the daffodil from his path, suddenly he was like, I'm seen, you know. Suddenly it wasn't
And
it's
he's safe also.
institution and it's
It,
safe. It
yeah,
doesn't
because
matter if it makes sense.
a mouse doesn't hurt you when you have a little mouse, but and then you can interact with it or something. That's nice. But if you're afraid of mice,
Then it's very scary.
then
Exactly.
it's very, and the question is, zoom out and say, hey, that's nature. You're nature. There shouldn't be. But we love a
But that's got
butterfly.
nothing to do with me,
Yeah, yeah,
that's the other
yeah,
person's reaction or their experience
yeah,
of the story that they're in.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then also then comes the systemic. You're praised because you're a hero because you stepped on a cockroach, but you the meanest person when you get a butterfly. What is the same? It's an insect,
Yeah.
and it's of course it looks aesthetically more pleasing to humans, but why would it exist, a cockroach? To say, hey, you're a hero killing all the cockroaches, but don't touch the butterflies. You know what I
Or
mean?
the
Don't
spiders, or the snakes.
spider. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
No,
You need
it
to
doesn't
see. You
make
need to
sense.
give. If you don't, if you want to see that you're part of, if you want to see that you are part of nature, you need to look at everything new and new. I see a cockroach. Oh, there's an ugly cockroach. Oh, there's a cute cockroach. Oh, there's an ugly butterfly. Oh, this is a
Yeah.
cute butterfly.
Well,
And
exactly.
also, the moth looks like a butterfly? Is that beautiful? I don't know, but it also has so much history. It has so much history that talks about moths, that talks about cockroaches, that talks about insects, where your judgment of choosing is completely. Let's say you would feel totally like the daffodil guy, the opposite. You will feel, I feel really good with cockroaches. And there is people, there's a lot of people, they play, not a lot, but there's people that play with cockroaches. Why would you not? Why would you want that person not that be that person that loves cockroaches or rats, right? I mean, there's
Or
rats so much.
people,
Yeah,
or why is it okay to kill people that look like that, but not like that? Or
exactly. Yeah, well,
believe in this,
that's
but
the.
not
Yeah,
in this?
I didn't. Yeah, you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. It's the same thing.
Yeah, it is every moment the same, and there is bad cockroaches, bad black people, bad white people, bad Chinese people. This everything can be looked at as very good or
Mm.
very bad. Basically, that's the point. The point
If
is,
we had the ability to judge, so where did we get that from? Why do
yeah,
we need to judge it as you're a good cockroach or good insect and you're a good
that
bad,
is
you
insect.
know,
Yeah,
or
a good
good
human, a
human,
bad
bad
human.
human?
Yeah, it's
Because the
just
whole point is to dehumanize certain sections of the planet so that it's okay to kill them. So
yeah,
we dehumanize or de-insect the cockroach
yeah,
so that it's okay to kill him. But we're not going to do the same with the butterfly because, it's too pretty.
yeah.
But yet they both have a function or they both have a personal
They are.
legend,
They
like,
are.
they
What
have
what
a
is
role.
already there of what is and what can come with the thing is what is. So it's
Yeah,
already here. So you can't
yeah,
say I don't want that because you cannot imagine what's not here. You cannot imagine except art, but you cannot imagine what doesn't exist on Earth. When it's here, it's already here. God created
yeah,
it. The universe created it. Nature created it. Why would you be against that when you're part of nature yourself?
exactly. That's a brilliant way
And
to end our
yeah.
gorgeous conversation.
Oh,
Thank
wonderful.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. We will